Hey friends, I wanted to touch base with you after I've been reading over several of the assignments for the first blog entry. Just a couple of things I wanted to pass along to the class. First, I would ask that you try to post your blog in the box there on Campus Web and not attach a file, and certainly don't attach a file in the discussion board. That just makes it a little more cumbersome for people to download and look at that. And I know there are options in the blog format for using footnotes and citing sources and those types of things, so I'll just ask you to try to do that if you can. With regard to literary context, I think there's maybe a little bit of confusion. Literary context, when it's used, often refers to what you find in the text around a selected passage. So for example, if I were doing an exegetical assignment on Philippians 4:13, right, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. The literary context would be Philippians 4. What do I encounter in the text before I get to Philippians 4:13? What do I see after that? So literary context can be referring to what else is in that chapter. It can be broader than that and even be talking about the book itself. What is the context of the book? Is this passage found in a unique part of the book that's talking about a specific subject? So that's oftentimes what's meant when we talk about literary context. Some of you guys, I think, are on the right page, and you took time in your blog to talk about the material leading up to your passage. Some of you just kept on going and kind of gave a verse-by-verse commentary of your text. And so now in blog 2, you're like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Literary context is looking at the verses leading up to it and those following it. It can deal with matters of literary genre, as some of you alluded, but genre, as we're going to see, really kind of goes between the idea of literary context and historical context, because all genres are rooted in culture. Right, a modern example of that would be a haiku poem. Right, maybe you remember writing a haiku in elementary school. I do. This is a genre, right? It's a type of poem, but it's very culturally embedded in Eastern culture in Japan. So all genre has certain cultural and historical aspects to it. So you kind of have historical, cultural context over here. Literary genre is kind of in the middle, bridging the literary context over here. So you've got kind of the literary context, genre, and historical cultural context that all are giving you information about this specific passage. So this week, as you go to blog 2, you should be walking systematically through your text and making comments. Now, what did making comments mean? Well, I would encourage you to just make observations about the text. Duvall and Hayes do a very good job of drawing this out and encouraging you to read the text and say, what are observations that you see? What are the things that you observe? Who's speaking? What's going on? Who are they talking to? What are they asserting? And obviously, the literary context is going to shape that. So again, I've enjoyed reading your work so far. I think a lot of you guys are moving in a good direction. Just wanted to throw this out there as a way to touch base with you and maybe kind of clarify some of those issues. God bless.